What's happening, everybody? It's me, your resident supervillain, Mr. J. Washington, and I'm here doing something a little bit different. So, I do have a lot of friends, a lot of good friends, a lot of famous friends, a lot of people that are popular, more popular than me. And so, sometimes I like to do things with them, especially when they're in town, because I don't get to see them much. I don't get to go, especially when they're from the hometown, from the crib. Like, I don't get to go home that much, because money, it is not cheap to fly to Chicago.
Sure is not.
So if you have buddy passes you want to send my way, please, I won't say no at all. But I ran into her last time I was back in town at C2E2, and we've been hoping to catch up, collab, and do something together. So I got Miss Tamara Lynn Chambers here with me. How are you?
I'm so good. Thanks for having me on.
So a lot of y'all might know her from Channel Awesome and just her own channel just being fucking spectacular. And I feel like I'm honored to have her on my channel. Like, I remember when she was starting in stand-up. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Ooh, rough times.
but that's going back. Like, when you were in Chicago, like, I remember all those times. And now, to watch how you've blown up and how you've made a name for yourself, it's crazy because a lot of times we figure as comedians, we have to make that name for ourselves doing comedy.
For sure.
And other things can happen.
Well, I remember starting out in comedy and seeing you like headline and freaking crush in Chicago.
Thank you.
And it's so cool that we're like doing similar things now on YouTube. You said I'm more famous than you, but just with 12-year-olds, so that's not a huge line. So you're crushing it too.
Well, I mean, I'm grateful for my fan base. I've got a fan base now that has crossed from young to older.
That's cool.
Because what I do on a channel, what I've done on anything from Collider, Nerdist, anything I've been on, I've been me.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that get on air and get in front of the camera, they're like, this is a whole new personality. Like, no, this is
be yourself.
This is me. Like, this is
your brand.
This is me. Like, this is what you get. So
yeah.
we decided, she was like, what are we going to record? I was like, all right, let's do something unique. And I decided to come up with a thing that both of us should be able to come up with something easily. Keyword, we should be. Favorite cartoons ever.
Which is a brilliant idea to talk about. I think that is good for both of our fan bases.
Yeah.
But damn, is it hard to choose one?
It is? For you?
It was so. Was it easy for you?
It was simple.
Oh damn.
When I finally thought of the concept, I literally had to sit back for a hot second and be like, what am I going to talk about? And I was like, yo, Jay, it's easy. The Thundercats. And I say that not just to shit on Thundercats Roar. I know everybody's been doing videos about how terrible it looks and blah, blah, blah. And I get it. I have my feelings on it. But I also had to remind myself it's not for me.
Mm-hmm. That's a big thing I always have to constantly remind myself. I'm going to see all these like kid movies and like movies for children. And I'm like, oh, so stupid. Wait, no, it's not for me. You.
Right. And so, but Thundercats is something I grew up with, especially being an 80s baby. But I've always found myself going back to watching older episodes. So watching the Thundercats whole movie. You know, everybody knows this. There's meme goes around us. If you say Thundercats and they don't say ho, they too young to be around you. Like, it's things like that. I remember when they did the Cartoon Network first remake.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad.
No.
I was nervous about it. I was like, this wasn't bad.
It really wasn't.
You know, so that has always been something like one of the things I would never do personally is I'm never getting a Thundercat tattoo. I know a bunch of people have the Thundercats insignia as a tattoo. Like, you can't justify that when you're 50. You can't get like be like, all right, so what does this tattoo mean? Well, this means blah blah blah. This was my first one. This was to my heart. So what is the like a panther thing? Oh, this is the Thundercats.
Oh yeah, that's my religion.
I worship the Church of Lionel. Like, so, I mean, Thundercats is not a bad one for me. I mean, I got so many others. I'm an 80s, 90s cartoons baby.
Yeah.
Because those are what I grew up on, and those are what I found myself visiting again here on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Daily Motion, Vimeo. Listen, I went and found Tranzor Z. For those who don't know, that's the American version of Mazinger Z from Japan. I found the first episode last night and was sitting up, had my roommate close her door. She was like, the fuck are you watching? I was like, don't you judge me. Like, because I felt I was being judged.
For sure.
I'm sitting there like a big kid in front of my computer like, yeah, doing that. So, I mean, that's that. But have you figured out one that you think?
So, I mean, it's hard because, I guess I'm a 90s cartoon baby, but there's some really good new cartoons out now that are like all of my adult friends are getting into, and it's so easy to get into. So, okay, I have a top 4, and I'm going to narrow it down here. Because
I can give you 3 other ones, but go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
Okay, so we got very wholesome, very classic Hey Arnold. Love that show.
Okay, Hey
I can
Arnold.
watch that still today. So wholesome. You learn a good lesson. He's so cute. Then we've got Avatar: Last Airbender.
Okay, I can see that one, yeah.
It's so good. I'm a friend of Dante Bosco's.
Dante's the homie.
He's so cool.
Let me tell you something. I met Dante out at in Salt Lake City at FanX. And so I was interviewing him. They had us doing interviews for the con. And so he was like, yo, you cool. We was kicking it. And then we went to the after party. We was all chilling. So Dante Bosco's the homie. I remember him from being Rufio.
Right.
And he'd be like, yeah. But I was like, yo, fuck being Rufio. You was pinballing Blood and Bone. And I remember that. And he was like,
he's cool as hell.
He's cool as hell.
So love that show.
So Avatar, Hey Arnold.
Invader Zim.
I know a lot of people rock with Invader Zim.
It was the first thing I ever watched. So I grew up in a really conservative household, and I didn't watch a lot of movies growing up. It's kind of my thing. And I saw Invader Zim, and it was the first weird thing I think I was ever introduced to, which was super late in life, but it was just weird, and I was like, oh, that's why people, it's so odd. I don't get it, but I love it. So Invader Zim, and then the X-Men animated series. Damn. So I'm friends with the creators, with the showrunners, and they're gonna probably be mad that I didn't say. Look, y'all came later. If I got to do 4, y'all are in my 4. Okay, give me your 4 then.
Okay. So we got 2 out the way. We got Thundercats. We got X-Men the animated series. This is gonna be a weird one from some of y'all. Y'all not gonna even remember this. Captain N the Game Master. This is a throwback. This took all the popular Nintendo characters at the time and made them into an action cartoon.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes, you had Samus from Metroid. You had Mother Brain. You had so many different characters. It was a dude who got sucked into his Nintendo. He was playing it, and he had to defeat Yo, this shit is so crazy.
What?
And and the last one, my son, when he was younger, put me onto this, and I thought it was the most hilarious thing ever. And I almost got a tattoo of one of their characters because of my son. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends.
I love that show. It's so good.
I almost got a tattoo of Blue.
Hell yeah.
My son loved Blue, and I almost got a Blue Guard Q Kazoo on my arm. Yes, I remember his full. Cute. I almost got it. Well, this one is taken by a tattoo from my mom, but I'd have got a Blue Guard Q Kazoo with here.
That's cute.
But I'd have had my son's name under it.
Oh,
my son, I would have. My son's 16 now, so if I get a Blue Guard Q Kazoo tattoo from a 16-year-old,
it's really gonna squash his game. I think
you'll be like, "Yo, Pops, what you on?"
Come on, Dad.
My son would be like, "Pops, what you on? Why? Why would you do this?" I know he would. So those would be my 4. Yeah. But yeah, Captain N is something. It's real retro. Again, it's 80s, but it's something I will go back to because it was when we started really incorporating video games into cartoons, and to take that many. When did it come out, and where did it come out? It was on NBC. Okay. It was on NBC Saturday mornings. This was mid-late 80s. Okay. Mid-late 80s into the 90s. It was there, and it was it didn't pick up because a lot of people didn't catch it, but I was a video game head for a while. Yeah. I was into the Nintendo. My mom would make sure my brother and I had every video game system that came out every year. So we were spoiled to an extent. We had it got a while. It was we, then it was just he. We had the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was dead broke, man, I couldn't picture this. Yeah, that was a big live. We had those. We had the N64. After the N64, it went to him getting the Dreamcast. Sure. We had the Sega Saturn. We had that. We had the first PlayStation. Then it went to him getting the Xbox, and then after a while, we both got older. My brother would buy everything on his own. I wouldn't buy any because I started working and had a life and had kids. Right. So I couldn't video games. I couldn't afford video games. Don't get me wrong. Now I'm making a little money, just a little. Playing some games. If I could, I would buy one. But here's the problem: it's either buy a video game or pay rent. And it's hard. Some months it's hard. Do I want an entertainment getaway, or do I need a roof over my head? So those are my 4. So it took you those 4. And so those are a specific representation of a period in your life that you can always draw back on. Yeah. Do you find yourself looking them up on YouTube or something like that? Absolutely. So I have all of Hey Arnold, the whole series. I have all of Avatar. I don't have X-Men. Disney Plus. Shouts out to that. Yeah, right? Is it on Disney Plus? Hell yeah, I watched all. Let me tell you something. First week Disney Plus came out, everybody was rushing through The Mandalorian. I was like, I'll play catch up. I ran through 5 seasons of X-Men animated series in 2 weeks. Oh, fuck. And my only problem has always been the 5th season. The 5th season of it is the worst because it was supposed to be canceled after season 4, and so they brought it back. The animation looked worse. The characters weren't the same characters.
Yeah.
And so you were just like, I'm gonna push through this and see what happens.
Because I trust you guys, but damn.
And rewatched it. So yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna rewatch that immediately. I'm so excited. I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah, so go ahead and get that free trial of Disney Plus, since most people are doing that since The Mandalorian is gone. And then,
I still got it.
I mean, I still got it because, again, there are a bunch of cartoon... Darkwing Duck. Darkwing Duck is on there, okay?
Yeah.
And I will watch DuckTales just to see Gizmo Duck, just to hear Blabber and Blatherskites. That's all. Like, if you don't understand what Blabber and Blatherskites meant to your life, like, yo, what is you doing? Like, that is how the Gizmo Duck suit comes on. That is the greatest keyword ever, because nobody's going to randomly say Blabbering Blatherskites.
Absolutely not.
But this has been fun, man. We're going to probably do a couple more here, but before I let you go off here, tell the people how they can find you everywhere.
Tamara L. Chambers on Twitter.
That's your Instagram handle I put up there. Cause I saw you I put your Instagram handle.
That's my Instagram handle up there. And then Tamara Lynn Chambers on YouTube.
How come you just didn't have one across the board?
I don't know. I'm dumb. Stupid.
It's just been easy.
It was a kind of... Yeah, no, I know. It's just dumb. Like, they're all different.
Because I did... So, I'll admit, my YouTube channel, the channel is J Washington 80 because I tried to get Mr. J Washington. It was gone. I was like, okay, it's cool. But everything else, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of stuff are at Mr. J Washington. So it's easy. And it was like, why Mr.? I was like, well, J Washington is a Filipino basketball player, and that sure in the hell ain't me. So y'all already, I just told you how to find me, so I don't need to do anything else. Thank y'all for checking this out, man. Make sure you subscribe to her channel. And if you just watching for the first time, hit subscribe. Click on the notification bell, all right? And join the Supervillain Squad on Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. J Washington. I'm putting a bunch of extra stuff up there, so if you want to see me in a professional wrestling ring, that's where you can see it. Yeah. So go do that, all right? Holla at y'all later. Take care.
Bye.
Out of here. Bye.